keep on doing your thing, man.
All right, so what we got up next?
You give a shout out to them.
All right, so that had no real audio to it, so we got to get the context of it. If you could read,
we saw the love.
The caption on it, it was basically saying like, this woman is a doctor. She had just finished a 13-hour shift and came home and made dinner for her husband after working a 13-hour shift.
Not her children, her husband.
Her husband, yeah. There was a lot of commentary behind this clip talking about, as far as like, I guess you could say modern women who, I don't know if I would say that they feel like them going out and working kind of disregards them from doing domestic stuff or cooking and, doing things like that. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Don't go.
Get the shout out the way. No. Come on, get back here, man. Get back here. I'm sorry,
I shout out to Lonnie Love, man. Dropping in real
that man
quick.
got out of here fast. He made
out of here. He beelined out.
Johnny Jigger.
Yeah, so what's your first thoughts on the clip, GB?
I just saw love, y'all. I just saw black love, black excellence. I saw an uncorrupted woman. I saw a woman that was raised correctly, and she understands the assignment of being a wife. She understands that she studied medicine. She's a doctor, but at the end of the day, she understands that a wife's hospital is her kitchen. A mother's hospital is her kitchen. That's how she keeps her loved ones healthy, by putting the right food in them. She chopped up them vegetables. She wasn't showing that video to show like slamming the vegetables around, slamming the thing around. Oh, this is what this man got me. She was showing the pride that she takes in taking care of her family, and that's a wife's duty. No matter how sexist it sounds, no matter how whatever it sounds, our job is to protect. Her job is to nurture and to cultivate and to, reproduce if she can. But yeah, I tip my hat to her, salute to her. That was an excellent representation of what a modern woman should look like.
So, all right, I think it's very important to give context because there were a lot of people in the comment section speaking about the fact that her husband is a doctor also, right? And you had a lot of women in the comments saying that, all right, well, he makes money too.
Okay.
Right? So that's why she would go home and cook him dinner. But if she was the breadwinner, what does she look like cooking a meal after doing a 13-hour shift?
She looks like a wife that understands the assignment. Like, I don't know. She looks like a wife. Makes money, not makes money, like whatever. Like, it is what it is.
Well, I think for the most part, a lot of modern women feel like in place of doing cooking and other type of quote unquote like domestic duties,
Right.
they're filling that in with going out and making money.
Yeah.
So they don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So
Well, we've
I'm-
all become hybrids in a sense because all right, let's take a couple of steps back. What's your definition of a traditional wife? In your words.
I think it's a traditional wife is someone that takes care of her family,
Okay.
nurtures, right? Whether that be cooking, caring, making sure everyone is good health-wise, physically, being how can I say? They don't have to be a lot of red pill guys use feminine, fit, and friendly. They don't, they don't have to be fit per se, but
Yeah.
uh,
Feminine and friendly is a must.
feminine and friendly is a
Yeah.
must.
Right.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my definition. Doesn't mean that a traditional wife does not work, because
A traditional wife. Now, a traditional wife
a
doesn't work.
traditional woman or a traditional wife
Yeah.
doesn't that doesn't mean they don't
Okay.
work.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because I think a lot of the folks today feel like, oh, how you expect me to be traditional when I got to go out and work, right?
Mhm.
If women didn't work back in the day when they were more traditional, who did like the quote unquote woman type of jobs? Who were cleaning the houses? Who were the nurses? Who were doing certain jobs? Men weren't nurses back in the day.
No.
We've always had hospitals, right?
Yeah.
We always had health care.
Absolutely.
Right? So women were nurses back then. Women were maids and things like that. So they went out and worked and they did certain things and they came home and they took care of their families.
Absolutely.
So we got this today, women got this perception. It was like, well, how am I supposed to be traditional if I gotta go out and work? I gotta go make money. But women used to also do that.
See,
But
where I disagree with you is I feel like a traditional woman does all those things, but she doesn't work. I feel like we have to be honest with this conversation. I feel like we have to take it all the way back. I feel like back when women were having 6, 7, 8, 9 kids, they stayed home.
okay.
And their sole livelihood was based on the man. The man was always the breadwinner, no matter how much bread he brought in.
In the scenarios that
You
I'm
were
saying, the
as
man was
poor
still the breadwinner.
or as rich as she, Oh, so the man has to be the breadwinner to
I'm not
traditional.
saying he necessarily has to, but that's
I
just the
feel
way
like it.
things. That's the way things
feel
were.
like, and I
But
feel like in the traditional marriage, the woman doesn't work. And I feel like we have to be honest if we're going to tackle this thing. I don't feel like anybody I know is living in the traditional marriage.
that doesn't exist anymore, though.
It doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't exist. You got first of all,
I feel like it's outdated.
It's definitely outdated because
it's how much of the hybrid you want to deal with now. It's everybody.
all right, I'm not even. Let's not even talk about a hybrid. It's just like it's just a new version of it.
Yes,
not even a hybrid because
updated.
Because the majority of people, the masses of people, they have to have 2 incomes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, to live in America at least.
Yeah, in the United States of America, back in the 30s and 40s and maybe even the 50s, you could live a decent life and raise a family on 1 income.
Yeah.
That's like
Impossible now.
it's not impossible.
Well, it had to be a high income for that one person.
Yeah. Or you're gonna have to kind of cut costs as far as lifestyle. You're gonna have to
that part.
But in order to be at a certain level or standard of living, whichever things that people wanted back in the day, you could do that with 1 income.
Yeah.
It's not really that possible with the average income these days, right? So it's new. It's a whole new it's a whole new traditional woman, traditional wife, right?
Yeah.
But working should not like absolve you from being
Your duties.
feminine and friendly, and taking care of your family.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
You know what I
'cause
mean?
On the vice versa side, in 2023, working doesn't exempt a man from being with the kids and doing stuff with his kids.
Not
and,
even close.
Not even
you know what I mean?
Not even close.
Not even
Just
close.
we can't use like
You've
I was
had-
working. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had too many conversations with other men and with ourselves about our fathers not
Yeah,
being around.
you gotta
enough.
get out there. You gotta get
so
out
we gotta
there.
get out there around the house. We gotta get around the house. When she asks us to do something around the house,
You
we
gotta
kind
do
of
it.
get to it.
You gotta do it.
We have
yeah.
to kind of stick into our roles the best we can, but yeah,
And I think that's okay. I think that's okay to
Yeah.
just, like The Rock said, know your role, man. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Know your role. Know what's needed of you. Well, also, too, maybe your dynamic doesn't need a traditional situation. It needs the hybrid. Or knowing the role, I think, is more important than, fulfilling what a quote unquote man or woman should do. Because, let's say your wife is or super into stuff around the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just not going to step on her toes there. You're going to let her have that. You might have the lawn. It might be things of that nature where, things that are more important to you. Doing things with the kids might be more important to one person than the other.
yeah. Education, working with the kids on things like that.
I think
Or stuff like that.
I think another thing that has changed is the value system, right? So we live in a day and age where everybody's valued based on how much money they bring in. Back in the day, they didn't you could be a regular guy working at a factory. The fact that they would say he's a good, honest guy. He comes to work on time. He goes to church on Sunday. He takes care of his family. He coaches the baseball team or whatever. You know what I mean?
But I'm going to be honest. I think in this day and age, the man who does all of that can have exactly a family and things. Like, that's not, you know what I mean? That's like, now I feel like the man wants more than that. The man was okay with those things. And the man was okay.
You went out.
I went out.
Yeah.
Check. You hear me?
You're good now.
Okay. The man was okay with, I got a car that runs. I got my little house. Right? Now the man, that's too loud now. The man, wants more, where that's not enough for him. Everybody, it's just nothing is enough for anybody.
Well, if
Right?
somebody feels like the standard of success or the bar of success is higher than that, most people are going to try to achieve that. So if back in the day, whatever was the gold standard of a good guy, that's what people wanted to do. But the values were different. Like, there were other things other than money. Pretty much everything kind of surrounds money. And I'm speaking, generally speaking, you could do a lot of other things good in your life. You could be a good guy. You could have good morals, good standards, all that, and do stuff here or there, take care of your family. But ultimately, respect comes from, a lot of the times, what you have. These days, it's kind of about what you have.
Is clout the same as respect? I think clout comes from what you have. I don't think respect. I think respect is still based on integrity. You could be a douchebag with a lot of shit, and everybody thinks you're a douchebag, and they could play the game around you, but no one really respects you. I think your character and your
All right.
You know what I mean?
So no.
Your integrity.
You could
and how good of a man you really are comes from.
You're talking about really getting to know people.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm just speaking.
We're talking about like marriage, like
right.
you know your husband, and you know if you don't like him, but he brings in money, then you're not gonna go above and beyond for him and cook for him and try to keep him as healthy as possible. If he's a bad person, you know you're gonna be like, all right, yo, let's go get that maid, let's go get that. Like she took pride, like she looks like she's been taught that. She chopped up them vegetables, everything from scratch. Everything was made with love. Seasoned everything, put it up in between. Did her little work. It looked like she was sending out a couple of emails and got back to it. Boom, boom, boom. Everything. It was just a tutorial. It was just a master class.
All right, I'm saying but
and how to be
a
powerful woman and be a wife. She probably saved 3 lives or delivered like 3 babies that day. That ain't nothing compared to that fish and that rice that she had to make for her husband. Her husband's nowhere near the picture. Husband is probably in the room with a beer, or he probably on his way home. He probably worked a long day too. He probably makes more than her, everything like that. But if you're married to somebody, if you're married as a woman, your job is to nurture and to keep that man on his purpose by keeping him healthy and keeping him alive.
All right.
Your
is it
kitchen
easier?
is your hospital.
Is it easier to do that when your husband can provide?
It's easier to do that when you like him. Not love him, you like him. You can love somebody and don't like him. If you like and you respect that man, you will have no problem doing that shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, you should really pick up like 2-3 nights a week. If anything, you're just gonna make it easier for you. Maybe you might get some of that stuff that comes prepackaged and you kind of prepare it. Mm-hmm. She might cheat a little bit during the week, but when she want to show her ass, she's gonna show her ass. Mm-hmm. She's gonna video record it and she's gonna put it on, on social media, so Cigars and Whiskey could talk about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, salute to you, young lady. I got nothing wrong with that. That's a beautiful thing. No. I've seen my mom do it. I've seen my mom go to school. My pops was diagnosed as a diabetic, you know what I mean? And I seen my mom as a nurse come home, prepare meals for him because he couldn't eat in the street. He couldn't do all that. She had to prep meals, make sure he had his food, make sure everything was right. She kept that. Pops is still running. Everybody's still going. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what love is, That's what love. Yeah. That's all I know. So that's, when I seen it, and that's what I know in my household. Wife be cooked with love. Like our biggest arguments is I'm rushing out the house and she's trying to, you said you leaving at 6, like it's 5:30. Like give me like 15 more minutes to plate this and put it up for you. Mm-hmm. Like you gave me a timeline on when you was gonna leave. Let me put this together for you. I had everything ready. Like come on, you wildin', and that I gotta understand the love. You know what I mean? That comes from love. Like she don't want me eating out in the street. You know what I mean? She want me to have that home cooking and that food that she knows was going into my body to keep me alive longer. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you.
So,